Hi, I'm Korie Lee Blossey, and I'm from Bay City, Michigan. I went to Central High School. Before high school, a teacher told me about a program at the Bay City Players called Youth Theater. It was everything to do with theater. You learned staging, you learned music, you learned lights, you learned sound, you learned stage managing, you learned costumes. So naturally, I had to be there and learned as much as I possibly could. And then they created a program called Stages of Discovery, which was a bigger production. You might be doing Shakespeare, a children's show, painting the sets, help making costumes. That's where I usually was, because I enjoy costumes. And it created such a love of theater and nourished so much love of the arts in my heart that that's what I had to do. So after high school, I went to New York City, and here I am. Now, up until recently, I was the Genie on Disney's North American tour of Aladdin. Then we had to regroup and figure out how things are going to go about now. And in this situation, thought I'd answer a couple questions, tell you some advice, let you know what it is like to be out on the road and hit some auditions or where we get auditions from. So come along with me and I'll give you any advice or any help I can. Question number 1. How do you approach auditions? Where do you find them? Playbill.com is a good source. Backstage.com is a good source. If you look hard enough, you can Google it and find some auditions, just depending on if they're in a city near you or close to you. But usually local theaters as well. If you know where your local theater is, they'll tell you when the auditions are, because they want to see you too. What happens at an audition for musicals? You can go in with your best 16 bars. You'll build a book of songs that you flip through, and at any moment, if somebody was like, sing this song, you can sing it and perform it enough to get a contract. And those are the songs that you put in your book, because you always want to book that contract. What happens at auditions for straight shows? Now, casting directors are excited about the cold reading possibilities, so as often as possible, they try to have you come in without anything in. They'll give you the script, see what you bring into the room, give you a little direction, maybe send you outside and have you come back. But they want to see what you're bringing to the table. And that's something that I can't tell you enough. It's about what you're bringing to the table, not what you think they want to see. So always try to think about that. Am I giving me? Am I selling me? How to prepare for callbacks? Do you prepare new material? Well, if they call you back, or when they call you back, they'll usually give you the material they want you to prepare for the next audition. If they don't, you always want to have your book handy and know your power songs and always know what you're going to do at that audition. And all right, let's do this. Just to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Always be prepared. And do you try to present a new face of yourself? I don't really try to present a new face of myself, but if maybe I didn't wear the shirt I wanted to wear, or if I know that I have another outfit that makes me feel a little more confident and a little more powerful, then I'm going to go with that. But always be confident and always be powerful, and put your best foot forward. Because you're what they want. Not anything else. They want you at your best. So you should feel your best as well. Next, touring. Who pays the costs? The producers pay the cost. There are multiple tours. There are production contracts. There are non-equity contracts. There are children's tours. There are bus and trucks. There are every kind of tour. So it depends on what contract. But you just want to be working and having a good time. So in my opinion, as long as I can pay my bills, I'll work any show. Because I just want to be in theater. Learn theater, find theater, meet new people. That's really why I do it. If you're doing it to get rich, this might not be the business for you. How do you adjust from one theater to another overnight? Well, on most theaters, in most tour productions, you have your set that travels with you. So the stage that you're on is always the same stage. The floor will always be the same floor, because if you have pieces that track in and out, you can't cut into somebody's stage and do that. So you have to be able to travel that with you. Also, your exits might be a little further away or closer away, but the floor that you're on is always going to be the floor that you're performing with. Unless you just require a minimum flat stage, then You might adjust, but that's what theater is, adjusting. You're always adjusting. There's a different audience every night. You can't change how that affects it. That was the subway. Sorry about that. Okay, next question. What's the best part of touring? Meeting new people, eating great food, seeing the country, performing and doing what you love with a different audience, and different audiences in different parts of the country are going to respond to different things differently. And you just enjoy that and embrace the fun that you're having, meeting new people and traveling around the world. The worst part of touring, you don't always have space. You want to buy those extra things and you know you can't, so you got to send it home, or you know you're going to want to use it, so where do you put it? And you're running out of space. Things like that. But it's so much fun. It's so worth it. To only have a couple suitcases and a travel case, that is A-okay. You're going to have a good time. What general education do you think is needed? Education all depends on the person. If you feel you need more education, I'd say try to make sure you know how to sight read. Maybe play a piano a little bit. So if you're in an audition and they send you out of the room, you could go pluck some notes out or something to figure out. You can never be too prepared. You always want to have the best foot forward. Like I said earlier, it's just setting yourself up for success. So education is up to you. If you're booking jobs and school is not for you and you just have that talent that knocks them over every time you walk in the room, congratulations. But I like to take a class every now and then just to see what's going on. And in bigger cities, they have casting director classes where you're working with the casting directors that are casting all these shows. And you get that feedback and information, and you're learning things, and you're learning how they think on the other side of the table. So you have that in mind the next time you go in front of them, that you sang all this different material as well. So you can never be too prepared. Should everyone learn to sing and dance as well as they can? Yes. If you only like straight shows, and that is fine. That is an amazing career. But if you're somebody who loves all aspects of theater, you should know how to sing and dance, because then you can go out for musicals as well as straight shows, and then you're giving yourself that much more opportunity and that much more of a higher ability. You're bringing more to the table, so we want to work with that person, because if we need them to sing, we know that they can sing. So learn singing, learn dancing, learn acting, everything. Learn as much as you possibly can to feel as confident in any audition situation that you're going to be, in front of a camera, and in person, in front of a piano. Give yourself every step that you possibly can, and you will thank yourself when you're my age. Should musical performers take acting lessons? 100%. Musicals are acting. There's high drama in musicals. The song is only happening because the words and the emotions are getting so hard to get out that I have to sing. So you want to act. You want to be in the moment, and a lot of it is based on honesty, and things are funnier if you're honest with it. So absolutely take acting classes if you can. If not, Google different things. You can take voice lessons on Google for free, because lessons cost money. But learn poetry, recite poetry, do it on camera, record yourself, delete it, or post it. You might get more followers. But there are so many different techniques and different things you could be teaching yourself that don't cost anything. And then when things start to open up more and classes do start to resume, then you have one more leg up, because this time that everybody else was down, you've been pushing yourself and learning different techniques. And how do you live in the big cities? Crazy expensive, but you figure it out. You get your Metro card, and most places, like in New York, you can walk, and it's free to the park. Parks are free. You can walk around the city and learn different things, and there's so much to do in the city, and there are so many things that don't cost. Then you figure that out, and you learn how to make your Metro card last a little longer, walk a little further, and cook meals that last a little longer. And some people like to meal plan. Hey, if that works, go for it. I cook bigger meals and then eat the leftovers for a couple days. Biggest negative factor personally. that I think too much. I overthink. Before I go into an audition, sometimes I think, okay, what do I need to give them? What do they want to see when I walk into the room? And that's negative. Don't do that. Because my biggest positive factor is you wipe away all that negativity because you're who they want to see when you walk into the room. Fun personality. You want fun to be around. You want a hard worker. You want somebody like, man, they are having fun. They are enjoying themselves. That's who people want to watch on stage. And everybody's talented. In one way, shape, or form, everybody has their talent. So what separates you from them is you're a great person, you're fun to be around, you're always a hard worker, you're always willing to change things, you can do anything they ask of you, or you try to do anything they ask of you. Simple things like that will take you a long way in the theater, in big shows and in small shows, regardless of where you're working or what show you're doing. Being able to hear, being able to work, being able to understand what's going on and adapt, that is what's happening in theater, and that's what we're doing right now. The whole community has to adapt because we can't be in the building. So that's the biggest key, and that's what I'm working on right now. I was learning how to adapt and learning how to do video things. It's a learning step. So thank you for taking this journey, and thank you for pursuing the arts. Thank you for programs like Stages of Discovery. Thank you for youth theater. Thank you for just enjoying life and wanting to be a part of this amazing community that it is theater. And if there's anything I'm going to leave you with, it is you are the only person that can make this happen. You don't need a magic lamp. You don't need 3 wishes. You have to find it in you. Nobody can do it for you. But anything is possible if you're willing to do the work. You just have to work hard. Thank you so very much. Mwah! Bye-bye.